Hello guys and girls and welcome to the MASCA CyberWars Dota 2 tournament. That is the Malaysian Students' Council of Australia, their second CyberWars Dota 2 and League of Legends tournament, and I am your caster for today, Only Logic. I am here with the couple of lower bracket teams. It's the Southeast Asian Rejects, SEAR, and Not Legit, playing to stay in the competition. The loser of this game will be out, and the winner of this game will go on to fight Boys coming up against Boys in the next match, which will be sometime in the future. Let's take a look at these bands. Let's start off with the bands. SEAR start off with the Bat Rider and the Faceless Void, two heroes that we haven't seen commonly banned. Bat Rider did get a ban in the first game that I did cast, and that's because of his amazing initiation. And we have seen Faceless Void in play with his amazing ability to be able to lock down a certain player. Not Legit decided to pick out the Doom and the Tide Hunter. Doom we've seen banned a lot, and Tide Hunter we saw a great effectiveness in the last game where Team Radical used it to absolutely amazing effect to really change the tide of Tide Hunter to really change the tide of several battles. Not Legit is first picking an Invoker. Invoker very, very strong in the mid lane. Recently saw some play in the off lane because of his ability to not necessarily lane control well, but because of the fact that he can have a lot of damage with him, and also with the fact that although he's got no reliable escape, he's not even really tanky. He just can have some sort of health regeneration, and if he's not coming up against a tri-lane, then it will be much easier for him. Tinker is another hero that we saw to great effect in the Radical versus Boys game. Tinker being picked up by the Southeast Asian Rejects. The build that was played last time was the Laser plus March of the Machines build. Laser, for those who don't know, does actually incur a 3-second 100% miss rate, which makes it much easier. Sorry, it doesn't make it easier for you to last hit, but it makes it impossible for your lane opponent to last hit. And Rockets is of course just a great source of damage, long range, heat-seeking missile. March of the Machines was the second build used by the Tinker in the Rad game. March of the Machines, what it does is it sends an army of little robots to basically munch on the enemy, and what that combo means is it means that it makes him a very good pusher, it makes him a very good counter pusher, and it also makes him very good at ganking. It also makes him very good at single target damage. Wraith King, on the other hand, is very much a hard carry with some potential for support. I wouldn't necessarily call him a support, though. He's got a stun, he's got an aura, lifesteal aura, he's got a crit. So ultimately that really makes him no better than, say, Chaos Knight. In a sense, I mean, Chaos Knight changes a gap closer for it exchanges a vampiric aura, a lifesteal aura, for a gap closer. Silencer is the second pickup by Not Legit here. Silencer is a global hero with a global silence. Invoker's not a global hero, but he does have a global spell known as Sunstrike, which is able to do a lot of pure damage. Pure damage means that it is not affected by magic resistance or anything like that, or armor resistance even, meaning that if it says it does 300 damage, it does 300 damage. And Silencer does have a little bit of a combo with Invoker, although he's mainly used as a utility support because he can harass very effectively. The bans coming out, SEAR ban out that Brewmaster, not an uncommon ban, even though we haven't seen him in play yet, he's definitely been banned. And Not Legit ban out the Skywrath Mage, a single target hero, a very strong high damage single target hero, which works very, very well with Tinker. Combos very, very nicely with Tinker, and it looks like Not Legit are deciding to ban out the mid heroes for SEAR, which is interesting because we're almost certain going to see a Tinker in mid. Mid is definitely the best position for Tinker, purely so that he can get his rearm as well as his boots as quickly as possible. Once he has rearm and boots, he can farm literally anywhere around the map. I would be pushing Not Legit to start banning out a couple of supports. Wraith King can definitely be used as support, but he's not commonly used as a support. We could see maybe some plays around with Wraith King as a support, but you can see they're banning out the Lich there, and it's because they understand that they don't want SEAR to have any sort of strong supporting opportunity. But having said that, SEAR's lineup hasn't been defined by these two heroes, unlike Boys lineup, which was defined by their first two picks of the Shadow Shaman and the Nature's Prophet.
5 seconds.
The Invoker and the Silencer hints towards a global lineup, but doesn't entirely suggest that, and SEAR know that, and they ban out the Enigma, another support that combos very well with both Silencer and Invoker, thanks to his Black Hole. I'm not really sure what strategy either of these teams are going for. I did see Not Legit play against, SEAR play against Boys, but that was a little bit of a wash towards Boys. Either way, the Centaur Warrunner is picked off, almost certainly an off-lane Centaur Warrunner being played by SEAR there. Not Legit is now deciding their third pick, and it looks like they definitely want to be going for a support as well. They've got Silencer can play as a hard support, but they don't really have any lockdown. They're going to need some sort of stun. They're going to need some sort of solid lockdown to combo, especially with Invoker's Cold Snap. I'd love to see a Shadow Shaman come out again, but I think any of the good lockdown heroes are pretty good. And there it is, a definite lockdown hero coming out by Not Legit, being the Shadow Shaman, which doesn't have a global spell, so that global presence is completely out the window. One of the things I have noticed is these blue symbols here, intelligence, 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 which basically means that none of these heroes are particularly strong in the late game, and they're all quite squishy and reliant on mana, and this could be an issue. It definitely could be an issue. It doesn't mean it will be an issue, but they don't have any utility, they don't have any right click, they don't have any consistent damage. They've got a lot of burst, but they don't have sets of consistent damage, except for maybe the Silencer with his curses and with his right clicks. SEAR decided to pick out the Bloodseeker. Now, Bloodseeker is a mid-hero that could be played as a hard carry, and I'd love to see a Bloodseeker hard carry here. I think that would be a certain change to the meta, but then we've got Wraith King to consider, and SEAR really have nothing strong in line of the supports. Once again, Wraith King can run as a support. He's got a stun, he's got a vampiric aura, which definitely helps a hero who's being harassed, but the Bloodseeker sort of really takes that hard carry position out of Wraith King's hand, because he does need more farm than Wraith King. Having said that, Wraith King isn't particularly strong without farm. Neither is Centaur Warrunner. Then again, Centaur Warrunner all he needs is a good few strength defensive items, and he's set. A couple of braces on him even is enough for him to make a huge change in team fights. Not Legit pick out that Lifestealer. Lifestealer used to be an almost 100% ban pick back in the day, but a couple of nerfs have really hurt him, specifically the nerf to Open Wounds, which is a slow, which previously had a range of 500, and now the range actually scales with the skill. That makes early game initiations a lot more difficult. Lifestealer was very, very strong in an offensive tri-lane because of the fact that he could leech life. Even though it's a small percentage, he could actually leech that life, which means that he was very, very strong in offensive tri-lanes, because even when harassed, he could put a lot of pressure on the enemy. On the enemy team, something that he can no longer do because he doesn't have that initiation potential, or even that follow-up potential with the Open Wounds in the state that it is. SEAR realised that Not Legit don't have a strong offlaner. Lifestealer can definitely play the offlane. We've seen Invoker in the offlane, but it's a very good observation that Not Legit do not have a strong offlaner, and they ban out the Bristleback, one of the very strong offlaners that has seen a fair bit of competitive play. Gosh, excuse me please, guys. Not Legit's turn to ban here. Looks like SEAR still don't have a hard support. The Ward buyer, the Smokes buyer, the Courier buyer. So Not Legit realised this, and they decided to ban out the Witch Doctor. I'm not really sure why the Witch Doctor. I mean, I can't. He has been starting to become a top tier pick. Although I can't see him working with Warrunner really. He's sort of anti-Bloodseeker. He's sort of anti-Wraith King in a sense. I guess it's a good follow-up stun. I mean, you cask into Wraith King stun. It could work, but ultimately I can't see him having much synergy with this team. Having said that, I can't see which support would have much synergy with this team. I'd love to see a Tusk Centaur Warrunner dual lane. I think that would really revolutionize the meta. It has been done before. I found it to be absolutely riveting, but both Tusk and Centaur, although they're not reliant on items, they're much better off with items. I'm thinking maybe something like a Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden is a very, very good initiator for Centaur Warrunner Stomp, for Harass. Tinker can then follow up if he doesn't have a Blink Dagger. It's a good follow-up for Wraith King. I'd love to see a Crystal Maiden be picked up here, and Crystal Maiden can be the Ward's buyer, can be the Courier buyer, and as long as she's near Wraith King or Centaur, then she won't have too much harass on her. Leshrac happens to be the one picked up by SEAR. Leshrac, very similar hero to Crystal Maiden. There's only one problem. The only stun that can go into Leshrac's one is Wraith King's. So Leshrac ultimately will not get any effective stun potential without getting some either very lucky or very high skilled split earths there. Not Legit are now deciding what they want to do with this Leshrac coming up, because Leshrac is also another very strong pusher and combos a little bit with Tinker and even a little bit with Bloodseeker, who's used to getting a Mjolnir. Mjolnir being quite a common item on Bloodseeker, especially in this meta. Not Legit, still deciding, they're still wondering what they're going to pick up as their fifth. It looks like they want an offlaner. Bristleback, quite a strong offlaner. Centaur, I think he's a strong offlaner, although he doesn't see much play. I'm thinking maybe even something like a hard carrier offlaner, like a Weaver, if they want to go something more pushing. Looks like they have picked up a Magnus. Magnus for the offlane is not a bad pick. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get a lot of farm, but he might be able to get a few levels reasonably easily. And most importantly, Magnus works very, very strongly with Silencer, with Invoker, even with Shadow Shaman, where Magnus can RP into a Shadow Shaman's ward trap, which might even get two, thanks to the slight changes that came about in the Serpent wards for Shadow Shaman in the last patch, I think, in the most recent patch. I think. No, or in the patch before that. Either way, it means that you can get two in an RP and in a ward trap, so there is a little bit of a combo going on here. Thank you very much to my Twitch viewers for joining me. It's great to have you guys. If you want to keep up with all of my gaming, just get onto my Facebook page, like my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/onlylogicgaming, and I will be forever in your debt. I recently hit 50 likes. Exciting! Exciting 50 likes! Oh, and look, I can click on things now. This is helpful. This is really helpful. My goodness, is that... what hair is that? Hair of the Arsenal Magus. Let's take a look at that hair. Gosh, that's sexy hair. It's not puppy sexy hair, though, I'll tell you that much. Puppy sexy hair is just something else. Okay, let's introduce the teams. Over here on the Radiant side, on Not Legit, you've got Fëanor playing on the Shadow Shaman, support Shadow Shaman. You've got Mark moving to the top lane on that with Asian Warrior on the Lifestealer. Looks like it's going to be an offensive tri-lane coming out of the side of the Radiant. In the mid lane, you've got Zero coming out on that Invoker, just observing the ward spot there, and in the safe lane, solo safe lane to get Magnus those precious levels so that he can get to level 6. Is Magnus pinging? No, pings are coming out from the Dire team. Is the Asian dude, the Chinese, with the Chinese characters there, playing the Magnus. On the side of the Dire playing as on this team of the Southeast Asian rejects, you've got Dartil playing the Leshrac, sticking around here with Bulbasaur, which can get a very good stun. So if the rune comes out here, it looks like Dartil has scared off the Invoker that's actually going to miss his block. So the block looks like it is going to be better by My Light, unless Zero is going to be able to do a good job of a block here, which suddenly becomes a lot more difficult. He probably should have let that range creep go, but he is doing a really strong job. So My Light not as strong on the block, but it ultimately does go to him. And of course the haste going down to the Leshrac. Bulbasaur is playing the Wraith King, which looks like a carry Wraith King. You've got a support Centaur Runner going up in the top lane against the offensive tri-lane, so they've got a lot of stun potential in this top lane, which means that this defensive tri-lane is going to be a very aggressive tri-lane, I'm guessing, or at least it'll be very defensive. No kills will be able to be achieved for the offensive tri-lane there, I am guessing. And is that a stun? No, we didn't see a stun. And in the bottom lane, we've got Shupa playing on the solo offlane Bloodseeker. That's something I've never seen before, is a solo offlane Bloodseeker. And frankly, I think this lane goes to Magnus purely because of the damage potential, 58 as opposed to 59 now, just as he's hit level 2. But he was just below 59. And not to mention the fact that Magnus can use his Shockwave to get last hits as well as to harass. So that lane is probably going to go to the Magnus. And if we take a look at the last hits denies here, we see that the Magnus is taking over from the Bloodseeker. That's actually top on the side of the Southeast Asian rejects. Zero missing a couple of crucial last hits here. Even though he is on top of the board there. Second to the Lifestealer. So very good tri-lane. Oh my goodness, what?
As indeed.
What on earth did I miss? He killed Leshrac. Oh my goodness. That was a Sunstrike kill that I didn't even see coming. So amazing communication coming out here by Not Legit. My goodness, I'm sort of even embarrassed that that happened. So he gets the first blood gold, and that is certainly going to boost him completely ahead of the pack there. Not to mention, it's going to be a lot easier for this tri-lane now, knowing that that Leshrac has already fed that first blood gold. So, very good communication coming out by Not Legit here, playing in the MASCA CyberWars Dota 2 tournament. Quick check of the last hits. We see that the Bloodseeker is reasonably uncontested in this lane here, remembering that he can actually gain health off of that Bloodbath, so Magnus is actually going to have to be extremely careful to make sure that he gets as many last hits as possible, both in the terms of denies and last hits, because you can see there him gaining that health. Oh, and him getting that deny as well means that he can start putting pressure on Magnus there, even though his damage is just one higher than Magnus's. So it looks like it's good pulling there, but the Dire team are making a good cause to try and keep the pressure in this offensive tri-lane here, and they could actually be pulling this camp over this way and pulling it to stack it. For some reason, it doesn't look like they're doing it, and maybe it's because it's... yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I'm really not sure why that's not happening. Whole bunch of close kills. Looks like they have gone in on Feanor. The stun does connect, and they are able to kill off that Shadow Shaman. The question is, are they going for Hungry? Oh, that Sunstrike does hit, but it's not actually enough to kill him. And now they're going to follow up on Dartil, and they're going to try and turn around on him. The stun is going to connect, but one more right click will do it from Mark. And now they're going to switch around to Bulbasaur. Asian Warrior is continuing to put pressure, and the curse is going to come out. One more right click, and that is going to make a difference. Asian Warrior is going to get the kill. The question is he going to die to the tower? No, he's not going to die to the tower. So a lot of damage coming out, and fight going well in favor of Not Legit there in the top lane. Wraith King very, very close to dying. The question is, how far off is the... he could actually Sunstrike. He could actually Sunstrike and actually get the kill on Bulbasaur. The question is, will he be able to? And frankly, I've got no idea, but I highly doubt it. It doesn't look like he's going to try. But I tell you what, that would be a pretty good Sunstrike. The question is he going to go for it in the well? He could actually try for it in the well, but no, nothing's going to happen. So the Rupture is coming out. Now, this is a bit of an issue because he's not actually turning to fight him, and I don't know why he didn't just man-fight him. He just sort of stood there, not very helpful in that case, in which case he dies to the Rupture, giving Bloodseeker an easy win to the lane there, and easy farm. So, Mark and Feanor are going up the hill. They want to wait for the lane to push. They need to wait for this creep equilibrium to shift back down to around about here, inside the river, so that they can go in. But it doesn't matter. They've used their smoke, and unless there's a ward here, which there isn't, it means that they don't have to worry about it. But the fact that he's going down bot to look for the rune, or at least to wait for the rune, means that there's really no point in waiting for him. But there is going to be a rotation from Dartil. The question is he going to come up here? And the answer is no. Both Fëanor and Mark are pretty much wasting their time being here and not farming or helping the Lifestealer farm. Looks like he's got an easy job ahead of them, but they could really be harassing here in the top lane. And I take that back. It looks like it is a support Wraith King and a carry Centaur Warrunner. Oh, Bloodseeker finished up Magnus again with the rotation from my line.
Radiant structures fortified.
Coming in to get the kill there. And the question is, are they going to push this mid tower? That's a stupid question. Of course they're going to push in this mid tower. They're going to try and take as much of this of the HP of this tower as possible, and it looks like they'll be able to take actually quite a lot before the creeps die and before anyone else is actually able to defend here. The solo safe lane Magnus not doing a particularly great job. He's trying to harass, but it's a little bit pointless harassing when you're just going to give him easy kills. He's going to launch him straight into the tower. He's going to then RP him, and it's doing a lot of damage to this tower. The problem is that the lower than half health means that full thirst, he's got a 35% bonus move speed there, and with the lack of mana coming out of Magnus there, it means that Shupa can just regain all of that mana, all of that health, sorry, all of that HP in the lane there just by getting last hits. And denies, of course. Just by getting the last hit on a creep. Magnus is very, very low. He has been ruptured again. He's not turning to fight. I don't know why he's not turning to fight again. Shupa's going to get the kill, and he's going to be able to move forward. The Sunstrike is going to miss, but he's going to take a lot of damage from that tower. And of course he'll buy a TP back to base, gain all of his health. And Magnus, just a few more right clicks would have actually killed him, but instead Magnus panicked. Didn't right click there, and it's actually made it 4-4. Let's take a quick look at the XP graphs. Nothing much to say there. In favour of SEAR by 1,000, but so what. And gold in favour of too legit, not legit, by 1,000 as well. So still a really close game in the earlier parts. We can see that the last hits really are scattered. Definitely going in favour of not legit of 0 here. And they're going to try and move in and go onto this Bulbasaur. Oh, the cold snap does actually connect, which means that they are able to get this out of position Wraith King. 0 is going to have to move out of that, and it looks like Tinker has gone the March of the Machines build as well, but he doesn't have his boots yet, and he's going to have to try and farm up those boots. He might have a little bit of trouble doing that. This tower on half health. This tower on full as far as I'm aware, and this Magnus should not be this far forward, not when he's got the speed boost, because he's able to man fight him even with the creeps there and still make a huge difference. Not to mention the Tinker is missing, and the Tinker was responsible for the kill last time. What's not to say that the Tinker won't be responsible for the kill this time? Meanwhile, in top lane, double kill coming out, the Sunstrike comes out as well as the Leshrac. Mark stays alive, 7-4 going to not legit. But the one big problem is that there are no tower pushes going on. And now the ultimate has come out. They've come in. The Tinker's going to come in here, and Magnus isn't able to run again. The stun's going to come out, and of course Magnus is going to die to the 4-man gank. And you might be saying, hey, but wait, you've ganked him several times. Why are you ganking him again? Well, one of the best things you can do in Dota is to just keep stomping on the little guy, to just keep putting a lot of pressure on the heroes that have already fed a lot.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So heavy right clicks coming out from the Lifestealer. Let's take a look at the net worth here for the time being. We see that the net worth is going up to the Tinker in the mid and the solo laned Bloodseeker. But Invoker and Lifestealer follow very, very closely behind. So one big team fight is probably all it'll take to change the team fight around. Magnus switching into the mid lane and wanting to come up against this Tinker, which I'm not sure is a particularly good idea.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And meanwhile, in the top lane, Asian Warrior really wants to push the Centaur right out of lane, and he's going to put a lot of pressure onto this tower. In the mid lane, they're going to go for the Centaur, of course. The Rupture's going to come out again, and all of the damage is going to come out. Dartle's going to finish up, and Tinker's going to get the kill with a March of the Machines on that once again out of place Magnus. Now, I hate to say it, but that Magnus is feeding 0-5. Yes, unfortunately, 5 kills means that it is a little bit unlucky, but I guess it's just what happens in some games. Oh, and Zero is taking a lot of damage from this March of the Machines because it is a level 4 March of the Machines, meaning that it is dealing 40 damage. Each one of those little critters deals 40 damage. In the top lane, there's a little bit of a fight-off between Lifestealer and Centaur, but even with the Leshrac here, Lifestealer isn't particularly worried about what could happen. RP has been used, but Magnus is going to come in, and Magnus is actually going to miss the skewer, so it means the Hungry is actually going to be able to run off with that one, and nothing bad is going to come out of it. The other thing is My Light, which is taking a lot of damage from the creeps, but he will be able to get the farm there, while Shupa roams into the jungle. 7-6 in favour of Not Legit versus the Southeast Asian Rejects in this game here. If you're interested in more Dota 2, please do hit the follow button on this channel. Drums of War have been launched. Now they want to go for someone. They've gone for the Lifestealer, but the Lifestealer doesn't have the mana to rage. He doesn't have the mana to rage, which is a lot of an issue, and it means that the Lifestealer will go down, but it'll be a trade for the Centaur Warrunner. The carry Centaur Warrunner, and that is how the team fight will end. Constant farming here by both teams. If we take a look at the net worths, once again we see Tinker right at the top there, just constantly playing his game, and Invoker with a couple of kills putting his net worth up reasonably high. Not to mention he's held himself back in the early game by going for a hand of Midas, which will end up accelerating him in the late game and sometimes in the mid game, really. I mean, it's a relatively, I wouldn't call it an early hand of Midas, but it's a relatively early hand of Midas. Hungry's going to go right in. He's going to be chicken. That's a fast chicken. And Fëanor is just trying to run, but the stun does connect. The RP tries to go in, and now they're trying to go for the... Ooh, they're trying to go for the Warrunner, but you see the Bloodseeker getting the kill there with the Rupture. Bloodseeker getting the kill on the Shadow Shaman, just in the right position. But that is a 2-for-1 going in favour, once again, of Not Legit. Okay, so mana being shared around here. Excuse me, guys. So still a little bit of pressure in this top lane to push this tower down. But even one hero is enough to control the push of this tower, and Dartel is able to get a little bit of farm from this tower as well. But most importantly, experience to get those precious levels in his stun. And I'm not sure why the Lightning Storm. It's probably for the split second slow, but I wouldn't particularly call it good.
Illusion.
So now with the illusion, Bloodseeker is already microing that illusion to try and put some pressure. And he's going to come up the hill with this illusion and just plant it behind his teammates. And he's going to keep his other illusion here and maybe do something with it. Either way, they've gone in on Bulbasaur in the mid. Bulbasaur's going to go down, but that's just his Aegis, Aegis being popped there. It doesn't matter. This tower is almost going to go down. Invoker does get the tower, but at the cost of Shadow Shaman's life. Not that that's a big issue. Zero is just going to back out. He is going to go back to base. Asian Warrior is going to be chased by Bulbasaur. The question is, will he be able to disjoint the Wraithfire Blast? Oh, very good disjointing there. And will he be able to get it? Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't cast the rage, but either way, he can right-click at Bulbasaur, and he's not doing it. He's going to right-click at Bulbasaur completely. He needs to rage now. Oh no. I was going to say he needs to rage now, and then he didn't reach. Oh, meanwhile, in the other lane, they've tried to go for Shuba. Dartel is going to try and get the hit, but he doesn't manage it. Yule Sceptered by the Invoker. Meanwhile, the Wraith King going down very low. Dartel is going to be picked up by Not Legit Zero. And because of the low health of the Centaur War, no, because of the low health of the Life Stealer. Ah, Life Stealer does end up taking the Wraith King as well. Now the Life Stealer is going to go for Shuba. He's going to try and come in. He's going to right-click everything, and he's just going to go at him. And he's going to be attempted to be clicked. One more time is all it takes. One more time, but he's going to be stunned up by Hungry. No, just body blocked. And Shuba's in the and Shuba is going to die. He's gonna hit himself though, and he's gonna be able to get the deny. And Hungry's gonna go down though. So 2 going down dead, even though one of them was a deny. Very, very, very good deny by the Bloodseeker. Still making it 14 to 11 to SEAR. And mid tower has fallen, and top tower just gone down now as well. It means that the gold graph is definitely going to show in favour of Not Legit. And there it is, 2,000 gold in favour of Not Legit. Experience still very, very close though. 500 actually in favour of the Southeast Asian rejects. In the top lane, this Magnus really wants to get someone, and they're going to come back, and Invoker's actually going to Yule Scepter himself for reasons completely unbeknown to me. Magnus is going to die, and Not Legit is going to be stunned up, and he's going to go down as well, so that's 2 for nothing. Tinker comes in, and he pops just the Soul Ring to try and get a kill. So he's got his Blink, his Soul Ring, and his Boots of Travel. He's going to go for an Ethereal Blade, and then he's going to go for a Dagon. 2 kills for SEAR. That's definitely going to bring both the experience and the gold graphs back up in their favour. And now they're just going to try and push lanes. They're in the bottom lane. They're going to try and push this. Lifestealer is there. He wants to try and make a kill happen. But he sees that the Leshrac is there, and he probably can't go in on anyone unless he gets support from somebody like Fëanor, who doesn't actually have his wards. There's going to be a TP in by the Magnus inside the trees. The question is, are they going to go on someone? Yes, they are. The Sunstrike is going to come out as well. Asian Warrior. No, actually, Lifestealer ended up getting that. But I tell you what, Zero is doing absolutely amazing work on this Invoker by grabbing those Sunstrikes. So he's obviously having trouble with his Yule Scepter. If you do double click it, you do select it on yourself, and that's probably what's going on. He's probably getting a little bit too excited, double clicking on the Yule Scepter and getting upset at it not particularly working. Either way, the wards have come down, and now the wards are going to try and go for this tower. They are going to try and take down this tower. The ultimate has come out. The Blink. Hungry's gone in for the Blink. He's tried to go in for the Magnus. He will be able to kill the Magnus, but probably at the cost of his own life. Oh, the Sunstrike comes out. It gets another kill. They're going to go for Bulbasaur now. Good switch around to Bulbasaur. Zero is very, very close. Very good ultimate double kill from Asian Warrior to get the double kill there, and that's 3 for 1. That is a very, very good trade. They will also be able to take down this tower, but a very strong deny by the Bloodseeker there. And the ultimate, not the ultimate, sorry, the curse missing. The Silencer's curse did miss, and Shadow Shaman is just going to have to try and fight this, but he is going to die, and now he's going to go for the Lifestealer. The Lifestealer is just going to have to try and armlet toggle, and he won't be able to outrun him. So he should have either just raged and tried to TP out there, or he should have just turned around and see if he could have outfought him. Instead of trying to run. This Bloodseeker is getting quite strong in this lane. He's level 15 already. Let's take a quick look at the levels to see what that means. It means that he's the highest level by 2, actually. Not by 1, but by 2 in the team, and that's gonna mean a lot. That is gonna mean a serious lot, because in 1 more level, he's got a level 3 Rupture, and that is big, guys. That is seriously big. Good warding and dewarding coming out on the dire side of Southeast Asian rejects here. And let me just point out that I can't see any wards except for this one here by Not Legit. And the nighttime does confirm it. There's actually no wards by Not Legit, except for that one. So who should be warding on their team? Magnus is in a bad position. He's been ruptured. Once again, he's not turning around and fighting. He does get a fight. One fight, but that does put Super on godlike, and Magnus simply cannot farm that far away from his tower. Dare I say, he cannot farm that far away from his team. He's going to need to be around a team when he's farming, and he's going to need to farm support items and tank items from now on. He probably wants to go for his Blink Dagger, but he simply won't be able to save up that money without being around a teammate. Huge initiation onto the Tinker there. That's going to cause the Tinker's death. Brilliant play by Invoker, who's probably just as farmed, if not more farmed, than this Bloodseeker. However, he's got the Midas. So although he's hurt now, he's just going to get stronger and stronger faster than that Bloodseeker is going to get stronger. What about in the net worth? Yes, he is actually higher in the net worth. So maybe not higher in levels. Oh, Silencer has suffered a disconnect. So we're just going to take a moment here to pause for the Silencer. So let's take a quick look at the state of the game here. Southeast Asian Rejects are looking to push this bottom tower. They want to take their first tier 2 tower, and they really want to bring up the team fight. Bulbasaur on 2-4 doesn't really have much. He's probably bought wards, he's bought boots, he does have his treads, which is definitely going to be helpful, alongside Hungry, who's really only got a Blink Dagger. I mean, he does have Tranquil Boots, but it's not a particularly rich item. Bloodseeker, on the other hand, completely farmed. He's got his Yasha. He's going for a Manta style almost certainly, or maybe even a Sunjin Yasha to go for the race car build. Black King Bar, going to be picked up. Oh, Fëanor's going to go down. Either way, huge team fight coming out there. Now they're going to go for the... I'm a little bit confused about what happened here. Looks like they ran in. There were a couple of TP supports. A lot of kills going out that way. Super is going to be able to get a kill on the Magnus, but it means that he is going to be slow, and there's going to be nothing to stop him from getting this TP off. So ultimately a good team fight for Not Legit. But it was... I'm pretty sure it was a Not Legit player who called the team fight, who unpaused it. Yeah, well, I guess all's well that ends well. Solid team fight coming out the way of Not Legit, and that's going to reflect in the graphs. No, actually, SEAR getting the bonus in experience there, and in terms of the bonus in gold, that is going for Not Legit as well. Wait, hold on, no gold for Not Legit, and experience in the way of SEAR. And Magnus, you can see he's resigned to trying to jungle, which is probably the only place that he can feasibly be, but even being in this position is a little bit dangerous. Bloodseeker's trying to go for that Roshan. He's trying to solo that Roshan, and no checks are being done in the Roshan pit. I'd like to see a Sunstrike come out. Yeah, the Sunstrike has come out, so they do know that they are in the Rosh pit, and now they want to start moving. Lifestealer getting a double damage rune, which means that he'll be able to go for this Roshan now, so maybe they might even turn this around and take the Roshan themselves. I'd love to see that Lifestealer actually try to get that Roshan. Either way, both teams are being grouped up here, and now they're just waiting to see what can happen here. Oh, and they've found out this Bulbasaur, and now they want to go for this Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's going to be bring back. That's a global silence, which means that nobody will be able to do something. Super already using the Rupture, though, so now they're going to try and go in for this. Hungry's going to blink in. They're going to be able to get a kill. They're going to get 2 kills going for that Magnus as well. That's 3, taking down that Lifestealer, and now they're going to chase one more right click. Is going to kill the... the Shadow Shaman, and Mark is just going to have to wobble away as SEAR, for the first time in the game, take the lead in terms of the kills with their simply amazing team fight and the fact that they're just not able to shut down this Bloodseeker.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Because of that bonus damage, this tower is going to go down very quickly. It's probably not going to be fortified purely because of the fact that it can't actually be fortified, and that tower melt ability, the Diabolic Edict, is going to come down and it's just going to wreck it. And now they back off and wait for the next team fight. So that's the first tier 2 tower coming down here. And Magnus is going to be able to try and farm here. Get some last hits. And he is able to get a little bit of farm, but he won't be able to get his Blink Dagger, not for a while. He'll have to just use his Skewer to be able to get into initiation range for his Blink Dagger. And we can see the denies coming out.
Regeneration.
Sentry ward placement to deny the ward placement there, but they are going for the for the Roshan once again. The question is the next Sunstrike going to come out? There's actually 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, Roshan's going to be dead, and you're going to see exactly that happen. Roshan's going to go down, and the Bloodseeker Shupa is going to take that Aegis. So this game is looking very much a turnaround for the Southeast Asian rejects. Okay, so Mark is here, ghosted up, smoked up. But he's not going to be able to get a kill at all in this position. Net worth skyrocketing now towards the Bloodseeker. Thanks again to all of my viewers on Twitch. Love having you guys. Hit that follow button so that you can follow more of my gaming. If you like gaming, then it's all good and fun. If you like fun, like really fun gaming, then what you want to do is you really want to get onto Pyron Zero's channel. That's twitch.tv/Pyron0. Saturdays at 5 o'clock, we just wreck shit. We make it super fun. We go through this game. It's a Japanese anime game that's some cliche cheeky thing, and we just have a lot of fun. All the TPs are coming out to this top tower now, and now they're just waiting. Oh, that is a huge skewer as well as a double. Definitely get the double kill there, and that's going to be the Aegis pretty much instantaneously gone. No, that was Bulbasaur actually going down, and now Shupa's going to be able to come in, and he's going to be able to get Feanor. That's Feanor going down already. Now he's going to be able to chase and go for Not Legit Zero. Not Legit, unfortunately, can't fight this off. Now he's going to try and go for the Magnus. Magnus should turn around. They are able to get down his kill. So that's a huge kill, even though it is a 3-for-1. That's a lot of money going towards the Lifestealer. He actually got 1,380 gold, and that's going to accelerate him into the late game as a hard carry. Unfortunately, the Lifestealer won't be able to chase any further. That 3-for-1 may have even made it very good for Not Legit, purely for getting the kill on that Bloodseeker and denying him of his Aegis. Experience is 10,000 in favor of SEAR, but gold, you see, is definitely going to rise with that. It's only just over 3,000 for SEAR. And as long as SEAR... Oh, Magnus is being spotted by My Light, who's going to just try and get some farm here in the jungle while this Magnus escapes due to his lack of gold. But in 100 gold, he does have his Blink Dagger, which might make a big difference in team fights and could change the tide of the game. So all he needs is one more last hit. There he gets it. He's going to have his Blink Dagger now. And that could mean that team fights could become a lot bigger. Just like the initiation in the last game was in the last fight, I should say, was absolutely perfect. He's going to be able to get a lot more of those. But on the other hand, Tinker just picked up the Dagon, level 5 Dagon now, which means that Tinker will pretty much be able to solo kill everyone except for the Lifestealer on the side of Not Legit. Let's take a look at these hero levels to get an idea. So we can see that the 17 is the top for the carries. Bloodseeker is on level 20 now. But they're going to have to do a lot of work to be able to really shut him down. Not sure what he's going for. With the pickup of the Eagle Song, that's definitely indicative of a... oh my goodness. Butterfly. Butterfly, to give him a little bit of evasion, to give him a little bit of extra damage. And that means that someone like Not Legit will just have to pick up an MKB. I'm not sure where he's going. It looks like he's looking at the jungle, but everyone is stacked up here, and that may be because either the Roche pit, they might think they'd be in the Roche pit, but they're not in the Roche pit, or because they've smoked up, and of course the pings have come out for Bulbasaur. SEAR playing very, very safe with this smoke gank, and now they're going to decide to smoke gank themselves. The problem is that they don't have vision of the enemy team, so it's going to be the same thing. It's probably going to be the same waste of a smoke gank. And MyLight's just going to try and push this lane, split push with the March of the Machines, then blink out and try and get as far away as he can. Shupa leading the charge here, but it's 3/4 time on the smoke. The question is, will they go all the way to the Ancient Pit here? And if they do, they might even be able to pick out Asian Warrior, but they do pick out Zero, who blinks away next to immediately. Good cancelling there, but instead they go for Asian Warrior, and now the Sunstrike comes in. Unfortunately, the Sunstrike deals no damage. They're trying to go in. The Magnus goes in. He grabs a 3-man, a reverse polarity. He's able to kill 1. He's able to kill 2. Now they're going to try and go for Shupa. The question is, will they be able to? Not Legit Zero is able to get himself out of there. Or a couple more right clicks, and they're able to get that Shupa. But no, he is still alive, and he is still able to get out of there. Oh, and he's a one more click. Yes, he does get it. Fëanor is able to kill out that Shupa, and Not Legit are bringing this back. SEAR need to be worried about their team fight status with that smoke gank going horridly wrong. Them trading 3 for just the Magnus. If I'm aware, there were no buybacks. No buybacks. Which means that the XP graph is going to show that they're coming back from 10,000, and the gold has plateaued at 3,000. And with this tower push, they won't be getting experience, but they will be getting gold by pushing this tower, and they probably will be able to push it even with the Bloodseeker down because of this, because of the wards. The wards are able to deal damage, and they're not affected by March of the Machines, and the right clicks are huge, so the Invoker getting the last hit on that tower there. And they're Not Legit just backing up there. I'm not really sure which team I'm going for here. It's a really close game between these two lower bracket teams. They will be able to get the farm on the Serpent wards here, which is a little bit of a shame. They're equivalent of a creep, so that's pretty much 2 creep waves of farm going in favour of Southeast Asian rejects there now. But either way, a good push. We're going to see Roshan back in a couple of minutes. Sorry, we're going to see the timer for Roshan back in a couple of minutes, I should say. Southeast Asian rejects casually farming the jungle, trying to push lanes, get as much farm as they can. There's no big favour for either side in terms of the late game. The Southeast Asian rejects have 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 big late game heroes. Not Legit have 1, potentially 2, 3 late game heroes. So ultimately it probably goes in favour of SEAR, but they have also got good pushes for the early game. Either way, there's going to be a smoke gank straight down mid, and this ward, good warding, is going to pick out the position of a couple of people in the jungle, so they might be able to wrap up around here and go for that Skeleton King, who's quite simply going to die. And that's reasonably good timing on there. Now they will be able to go for the Bulbasaur, and the follow-up stun is going to come out from Dartil, but Dartil's just going to run. Shupa's going to come in, and now they're going to have to change the focus. They're going to have to try and go for Shupa. But Fëanor's in the wrong position. He needs to go. He needs to try and stun up the Shuba. There's no targeting though. Hungary's going to go down. Shuba's going to stay alive. They're going to try and go for Dartil. Asian Warrior's going to go down, and that's 2 more down. Triple kill. 3 for 4. Going in favor of the Southeast Asian rejects. Oh. No, Leshrak killed by a neutral, so that's 4 for 2, I should say. That fight going hugely in favour of the Southeast Asian rejects, and this is the problem. Shupa is quite farmed now. He doesn't have evasion yet. He does not have evasion yet, and they're going to need to target him while he doesn't have this evasion, because Lifestealer, he's got a basher, but he's got really nothing else. I mean, he's got a Sanjan Yasha, but aside from that, really nothing else. Especially with the increased move speed, with the swiftness aura by the drums there. And you can see the jungle farming going on because he is able to. He can probably solo kill any one of the Radiant heroes at this point in the game.
Illusion.
So the question is, will he go for the Roshan pit? Roshan is actually up now. I once again don't think that he can solo it, but he is going to try to. And you can see him trying to go for the damage there, and they're going into the Roshan pit, and do not legit know? Do they know that there could be something happening in the Rosh pit? Do they even have an inkling of it? Because this is a pretty sneaky Rosh. And the aura there is going to make sure that they gain a little bit of health, which means that they should be able to take this Roshan reasonably easy. And Shupa, once again, is going to drop his TP, and he's going to be able to take his Aegis, and this is dangerous. This is hugely dangerous. Oh, and a mega kill being retrieved by that Tinker, but is the Tinker going to be able to get out of this? The question is, yes, that was so close, and I'm not sure why the the Invoker didn't follow up on that Tinker, because if he had followed up on the Tinker, it would have been a kill. He was very, very close to dead. So now the pushing begins in the bottom lane. They want to take down this tower. This tower is low already, but they are going to have to try and focus this Shupa. The curse has come out. Oh, and is that a pipe? That is a pipe of insight. That was a completely wasted RP. I'm not sure why. Shupa's going to try and go for not legit 0. He won't be able to get out of there, but he will be able to go staff. Unfortunately, it'll do nothing. His immediate buyback from the Invoker there, after being killed by the Tinker. Now they want to go into this lane. They've gone for the Shupa. They're trying to deal as much damage as they can. They don't realize that he does have the Aegis of immortality, and that they are just going to continue pushing because it is 5v3 at this point in the game. The buyback from Invoker, although it might make a difference, probably won't make a difference. That does drain the mana of the Bloodseeker, but he does get it back reasonably quickly at this late stage in the game. And oh, good disjointing there, but as soon as he comes down, he is going to be right-clicked. And now Asian Warriors trying to go for Hungary, and he is actually going to be stunned up. The slow coming out a little bit too early, but My Light is going to be able to get the kill there using the Ethereal Blade combo. And this is set. I'm calling it now. Game is 100% gone to the Southeast Asian rejects, who are going to switch to the middle tower and try and push out this middle tower now. And you can see the XP graphs, 20,000 for SEAR, almost 10,000 in terms of gold, and that's when you know that the difference is struck, when both graphs are definitely in one person's favour. The right clicker trying to be coming out by Asian Warrior here. The stun does miss. Actually, it doesn't miss, but he does have the rage on. That's brought back right into the towers. He's going to have to sacrifice that. Magnus is going to have to sacrifice himself for it. But it does bring down the Skeleton King. The question is, will they be able to bring down the Bloodseeker? And the answer is no. I think that the Lifestealer probably should have gone for that. But with the low health heroes, with Lifestealer being low health, he's not actually able to follow up on that. So they still do have a little bit of fight in them, but it's really not much fight. And this ward, very good warding. This is something that I forget to do as a support player in almost all games that I play, is to ward the enemy base once I've killed the towers, once I've gotten past inside that enemy base. there, because this ward does reveal, if I click, it does reveal all through here. It has a slight little gap through here, which it can see, so it can see this area, it can see all through here, it can see this area, it can see all the way up to the tower there, and it can see the entirety of this area, which is really, really useful to seeing where people are on the maps. For example, noting that an Invoker is not in the jungle, that Invoker is not pushing a lane, that he's definitely in the bottom lane, and he's here with Fëanor, who's put a sentry just outside of the observer ward, so they're not actually able to observe that observer ward with the sentry. So SEAR are probably thinking about going for their GG push sometime soon. That Aegis of the Immortal won't last around forever, and he will just use the bottle given to him by the Tinker to try and regain his mana, while the Tinker helps in pushing. Asian Warrior just backs off, and now he's going to TP, and they're not going to be able to get a stun on him, so they're definitely going to go down. The problem is that Fëanor is just going to have to back off. Oh, and the Magnus is once again in a terrible position.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And he's taken down by My Light, the Tinker there, and Hungry's going to try and go down. Oh, and Zero's trying to avoid dying there as well, and he does actually get out. Mark, is he going to be picked up? No, Asian Warrior is still alive. A lot of heroes on very, very low health, including the Leshrac.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
And the Sunstrike's going to come out. They're going to try and get kills, but that's going to go in favor.
Another falls on my road.
Oh! Jump in there to kill the Leshrac there. Now they're trying to go for the Bulbasaur. Will he be able to skewer him back in? No, he won't. Oh, Tinker coming in, getting the kill already on My Light, but he's not able to finish that up. So the question is he going to go for it? Yes, he is going to go for it. He does jump into there, and using the Ethereal Blade, he is able to get the kill. Is there going to be a GG call? Zero making the GG call there, and giving the game to the Southeast Asian Rejects.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Holy shit.
Looks like the GG call was cancelled there. Not sure why.
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
Either way, they're going to be able to win through the push. So the game has definitely gone to the Southeast Asian Rejects. Congratulations to them. We're going to see them in the lower bracket. Unfortunately for Not Legit, they are going to have to be out of the competition, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully we'll see them in a few more tournaments, especially here in Canberra, in the future. Congratulations to the Southeast Asian Rejects for doing a great job, especially on that Bloodseeker and on that Tinker, and all round having really good teamwork and team play, and having good, strong team fights. Oh no, what am I saying? This is only the first game. Sorry, I apologise. First game, Southeast Asian Rejects, 1-0 going to them. We'll be back for Game 2. I'm terribly sorry, guys. We'll be back very shortly for Game 2.